podcast time!
All right.
You sure? No preparation needed?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of Dream and Sam's podcast.
Yeah, still with no name.
No, exactly. We kind of still are arguing about what to call this. Currently, it's just going to be what it is, but when we come up with something, it will be good. Hopefully.
But like, comment, and subscribe. Mostly comment if you have a name. So
name this shit, and we will be eternally thankful.
This is true.
Immediately, we already started and I already called our podcast shit. Well, cool. Everybody that's new to this place are going to be like, what? No? I'm leaving. Yeah, perfect. I'm so good at this.
Yay. We're so good at talking.
Oh.
Yay.
Well.
English language.
Yeah. Oh. You know, that thing. So, well, I guess we kick off with some gaming news again, I would say.
Alrighty.
And sounds good. I guess let's just get one of the big elephants out of the way, because I'm actually not that eager to talk about it, and it's Minecon in London 2015 on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam, since you are the one who have a nation that loves that date, can you explain to me any good things that could come from this?
No.
Good. And that was that topic. No.
Yeah. Anyways,
I don't know how. Why?
If you plan a con on a holiday, it's really hard for people to choose, I guess. I mean, 4th of July is a pretty big holiday. I mean, it's not like the biggest of holidays over here, but it is one of the most important.
It's 4th of July,
I guess. 4th of July is like you launch fireworks, you drink beer, you hang out with friends, you know, do all sorts of stupid stuff. America, and it's just a day to be proud of being American, even though we do that pretty much every day. But
I would agree. As a non-American, I don't see any major difference between 4th of July and every other day. But
just think of I
do. Fireworks.
It's
firework day.
You have that, and then being, 10 times that, just like what you would normally think of American, and then put it on steroids, and that's 4th of July. But if you have a con,
I think about Americans probably is Americans on steroids anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I'm not gonna be like that.
If you have a con on a holiday, it's just it's gonna go badly. It's not gonna go well.
I don't know. It might be good. I mean, it could be. What I think they have planned for is that since people are, free on 4th of July, maybe taking a couple of days off and a couple of days after 4th of July, and have a vacation to Europe and make that go at the same time as Minecon. I guess that's the only thing I could guess. Is the reason to 4th of July date. But I consider it stupid myself, so.
I mean, the only thing with 4th of July is that we'll celebrate it. We won't, wait till a weekend to celebrate it. We'll just celebrate it whatever day it lands on. So, I mean, if you had a weekend, if it was on a Friday and you had a weekend to go to Europe, I mean, that's cool. But more than half the time, it's like, yay, 4th of July, stay up super late drinking, blah, 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 blah. And then the next day, everyone's just super tired. And, you can just see it in people's faces at the store. They're just like, how are you doing today? And you're like, oh, America. I'm tired. Everyone's just hungover. But it's really funny.
Yeah, but the thing is that why would you leave America for the day when America is celebrated in that case? I still think it's stupid. Well,
it's not smart. Anyway,
are you planning to go?
No.
I'm
on the West Coast. I'm on the West Coast of the United States, and I'm going to go all the way to London on the 4th of July.
It's an awesome place. I would love to go to London, but it's too expensive. I don't have the money.
Oh, it's so expensive. Also, why would I go to the nation which tried to, keep us from not colonizing? Uh, the sworn enemies of the United States so long ago.
God
Why would
damn
I
it, Britain!
on all days?
It's weird.
Anyway.
I still think the day is stupid. So, well, it's mentioned anyway. If I would have had the money as a pretty intensive Minecraft player, whatever, I would have gone because I still love the game and the community around it. But it's too much money, and I just can't. I mean,
yeah.
And July, the thing with it as well is during that period I don't get any money as a student either. So I'm going to have to work.
You get money as a student?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Everybody has state subsidiaries, so...
Holy shit. In America, you just go into debt.
Well, we get into debt as well. I mean, it's not free, but about a fourth of everything is paid. Those money are yours, whatever. The rest is yours, but it's state loans, so you have to pay them back. But it's very low rent and whatever on it. Not rent, inflation. Oh, whatever.
Anyway, what's next?
Star Wars Humble Bundle smashes all limits of how much it should sell. Star Wars is hot again, and it's the year of the new movie as well.
It's always been hot, to me at least.
Star Wars is the hots.
It's
hots for Star Wars.
So hot. I would buy it, except for the fact that I own every single game on that list already. So,
seems meaningless then.
Yeah, for me it's pointless. But you get, I don't know, like, what is it, like?
What games are on the list now? Since you know the list better than I do.
Let's see. Games that I would play.
Both Battlefronts, right?
I believe it has Battlefront 2 on there. I don't think it has the first one. Okay, yeah, I got the list. So games that are on that list that you should definitely play are let's see, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for sure. That's pretty much the game that BioWare made before they made Mass Effect, or at least their own sort of like sci-fi RPG, which is really good. It has a really good story too. So you should go play that if you like Mass Effect. And let's see, Empire at War is a pretty good strategy game. Battlefront 2 is everyone's favorite. There's also Knights of the Old Republic 2, so if you want to play the sequel to that, then go ahead. Force Unleashed, those are pretty fun little action games there. Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, really fun. And Star Wars Republic Commando is like a first-person shooter Star Wars game set in the Clone Wars, and that's pretty cool. And supposedly there's more games coming soon. And let's see, I think
there is a new movie coming, so there will be new games. I mean, seriously, every time these big blockbuster things are coming out, you know there will be a goddamn game, and 99% of the time it will be a shitty game, sadly, because it's something that's farthered out to the release date of the movie. It's just like every time.
All the games on this list though are really good. There's like, I think a couple I didn't mention, but anyway, this is like $115 worth of games for like $12. So, you know.
Yeah, $12 for all those games.
And your sporting charity.
I haven't bought it
yet.
Yeah, maybe I should reconsider though, because it seems like a really good deal.
It's an extremely good deal.
Yeah.
Like I love all these games. They're great. So.
Well, you heard it from Sam. Go to Humble Bundle and support charity and buy Star Wars craps.
Do it.
Just a little off the news. Do you think the new movie will be good?
I'm hoping it's good.
Have you seen the trailer?
I have. I have high hopes for it. I'm one of those people that's really excited about the new lightsaber. So, you know.
yeah, the new lightsaber discussion. Let's not just get lost into that, but it's interesting that such a small detail is the most discussed thing around this entire movie. It's like,
oh, of course,
that new lightsaber, it shows different physics than the ordinary ones. And it had tilts.
Yeah, and everyone's freaking out about it, and
I love it. I mean, I'm a nerd. I'm as nerdy as anybody. I love to dig myself into this kind of stuff, but I love to sometimes just take a step back and watch from the sidelines. And it makes so little sense how much people react to that part of the movie.
Yeah.
I just
it's funny.
But it seems actually like it could be a good movie.
I'm excited.
I'm not hating the three new ones, but it's very much comedy, very plastic.
Yeah.
The other ones had, at least it tried to be a bit more mythology basic thing. And I think that's what Star Wars still lives strong by, the fact that they built up their own like mythology stuff around it.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It is so big. Like if you play Knights of the Old Republic, you're gonna learn a shit ton.
Yeah.
So
we just have to see if Disney still considers that to be, part of the lore, though, because they have gone out and said that it's only the movies that counts. And Knights of the Old Republic have been considered, to be part of the lore. So, well, we will see what they have to deal with that, because Disney should be really careful, because otherwise they will have a bunch of fake Jedis killing them in their sleep. I still think the funniest thing though is the overpowered lightsaber. It should be so great in every situation, and probably an ordinary shotgun would just deal with it, because even if it would burn the lead would still travel in such a high velocity that would just go through the plasma, and you have melted lead all over your face. So I still find it very funny that the mighty dark Sith Empire haven't figured out that you could just use all-time guns, and that would be very dangerous.
Well, that's why they had the Death Star and started destroying planets.
That's interesting. We are totally off topic, but let's be off topic a little bit more, because hey, it's our podcast. Nobody can stop us.
This is true. This is very true.
I heard an interesting fan theory about this. Why spend so much money, so much material, and so much energy on building this Death Star on a small rebel army that you have 10 times the strength anyway?
Because they're an empire and they want to rule the entire universe.
Well, the theory is that they are actually preparing for an outside enemy. That's basically out of the Empire area, and to keep the Empire safe, they build this super weapon to keep the enemy outside under control.
But then you got like Darth Vader and Darth Sidious, and they're all like super bad, and they're like, no, we gotta kill everybody.
Yeah, but to be bad does only count as bad from the perspective of the one that is considered good.
Yeah.
So the theory is that the Death Star is not created to terrorize the Empire in any way. It's just used to blow up a rebel planet to just show how powerful it is. And at the same time, basically put fear into the rebels to say, just give up. See what we can do if we want to, just give up. And they don't.
Yeah.
Still, the engineering part of the Death Star is still stupid, since all they had to do is just put a metal net in the ventilation system for the core, and they wouldn't just be able to fly in with goddammit missiles.
Yeah. Oh man, Star Wars.
Yeah, they need some Earth technicians. The Empire definitely needs some better engineers. That's what destroys them. They suck. They can build a thing that blows up planets, but they can't protect it from an ordinary goddamn attack spaceship.
Alrighty.
Yep.
Back on topic.
Back onto topic. I guess we can leave the humble button of Star Wars for a bit then, and then we're going for Club Nintendo. Then can you explain a bit more about this, since people like myself are not well aware of what this actually was?
Anyway, so Club Nintendo was like a rewards program for specific Nintendo fans. If you would buy like their first party games and stuff like that, or buy a console, you would get like this registration code saying like, "Hey, go on Club Nintendo and receive like coins so that you can redeem prizes and games and who knows what." But anyway, it was a service that was around for like a really long time. Like I remember using it when I was in high school, like I don't know, like early high school. So it's been around for a while, but Nintendo's shutting it down just because they were getting a lot of flack for it, just because their prizes weren't really up to snuff, and they were just shelling out like games for every once in a while, and even then they weren't really all that great of games. But
it's interesting. It's interesting to me that Nintendo decides to, instead of actually giving their fans and customers the service in Club Nintendo and make it better, they give up.
Yeah, well,
that's the sad perspective I have of it. It's just like, yes, you are a giant, but you're going to die if you stop, taking care of the people that keeps you alive.
Yeah, they've been, trying to get back on track since, they totally screwed up with the Wii, that's for sure. Like, they totally forgot who their audience was because they're making so much damn money, and then they lost touch with a lot of them. So they've been trying to get back on track since then. I think they've been doing a pretty alright job at that.
But as a like retro game lover, and in this show you're the expert, so we can give you like a high title of that. And as a guy that have followed Nintendo for a long time, what should they do to get back on top of gaming? Because they are like the giant they are, but in my perspective, they are kind of losing ground if they still. They are really trying to get back now, and they are doing better.
They're definitely doing better, that's for sure.
If just for a second, just that the president of Nintendo, that would never go for English speaking podcast, but anyway. That might be part of the problem. If he would be here and listen, what would be free advice you would give to him?
That's a tough one, because I don't know. A lot of the things that they've been doing, I've been really liking lately. Let's see. They've been giving away a lot of like free things lately, or at least to me, because I'm on pretty good grounds with Nintendo, and so they send me free stuff a lot. But I don't know. I think definitely just making the games that people, want them to make, I guess. But that's not how Nintendo operates. That's never how they've operated, ever. They've just done their own thing.
And to be honest, people never know what they want until afterward. Who expected that a sandbox box game would be one of the most played games ever before Minecraft?
Yeah,
I mean, it's I still think it's a good idea to not always go with what people claim they want, because sometimes it's better to surprise them by showing, here's what you get. And people say, oh shit, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, Nintendo just recently sponsored the Apex Super Smash Bros. Tournament, and it was the first time that they had ever done anything like that for the competitive Smash community, and so that was really cool. And they've been doing a lot of really great stuff.
Is it the first time?
Yeah, it was the first time that they had, because competitive Smash has been around for, like, really, really long time, and so it was, like, the first year that they actually sponsored it. So,
that's so weird. I expected that they would have had, been sponsoring and taking care of that for a long time, but that actually made me surprised. So. Well, that's a good thing that they are there now. Then they have figured that out.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh shit! There's entire competitive gaming franchise here that all buy our games and are like super into what we are producing. Maybe we should support them.
Yeah, and
we have to think about this for 20 years and then we do it.
Yeah, a lot of people are just like, "Oh, you just totally suck Nintendo's dick," and I'm like, "Well, you know."
If they're anybody's dick,
but
I would suck.
yeah, it would probably be Nintendo's, but um, they've been doing like the one thing I really don't like that they've been really stingy with the amount of amiibos, their little plastic figurines that they've been making for like Smash Bros and a bunch of other games. They've been really stingy with the amount of production that they've been putting out because they're really freaking popular. And I have like 4 myself. Like I just got one like last night, so I have like 4 sitting on my shelf, and I did like a whole video about it, about like training them in Smash Bros. And they're extremely popular, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and if anybody who's
them.
listening right now likes amiibos, actually go over and check Sam's video because it seems really cool. Myself, I've never been into those things, so but I found that video really cool. So
it's pretty interesting. But they haven't really been upping production at all, and they've just been shelling out more and more of them. So it's been like a mad scramble to get the one that you want. So,
but isn't that their entire plan? That to have everybody be like, I got to get this now! Ah!
It's like how they were like treating the Wii back in like 2006 when everyone wanted one, and people would like go ask like the people at trucks, like shipment trucks, be like, hey, do you have any Wiis in here? And try and get one for their kid for Christmas. It's like almost like that, only with like little plastic toys that are like 12, 13 bucks a piece, and Nintendo's making a fucking killing off of them. So, ugh. Anyway, back to
it seems a bit
Nintendo,
weird. It just seems a bit weird that they wouldn't.
Nintendo just likes to.
Yeah. But hey, I'm going to put you on the spot right now because currently only you do is make commercial for Nintendo right now. 3 things they could do better. Come on.
Mm-hmm. 3 things. Okay. Definitely up production of amiibos. That's one for sure. Try and quickly replace some sort of thing to Club Nintendo, which they're planning to do. But I really would like it if they would, do it faster, because I like getting free things, because I think most people do. And 3, dang, I don't know. That's a tough one. I can't really think of anything else.
I have one.
Exactly. Oh, make another Metroid game that's not poopy. There. I want another Metroid game. Really bad.
You want them to get back to the Metroid franchise?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have one more that I'm going to send to you, Nintendo, since you're listening right now. And that is...
Totally.
Befriend the YouTube community. God damn it. Stop being douchebags.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
their whole
taking 60% out of what people's like income. The gaming community has evolved. It's growing and it has matured. And YouTube is a major part of how the gaming community commute, how they, share experiences of games and whatever. And if you're going to continuously be like, well, if you're going to do that, we are going to have most of the money because you all suck. That's not a good market plan. Come on.
Can I make a tiny correction?
Yeah.
The 60% goes to the person, and then the 40 goes to Nintendo. But still, anyways, it still sucks.
Okay, still 40% for not doing shit.
Yeah.
For the fact that they have sold a product and somebody else is playing it, that's not worth for them to have all that. I mean,
it's poopy.
They could have 1 million ambassadors out there selling their products for free. And instead they're punishing them. Come on, that's so dumb. Nintendo, you are not dumb. Why do you keep doing this?
Legal purposes. I think that's like the one sentence.
we can have the discussion about Sega being completely idiots. I mean, they are like the worst. That was a long time ago. Yeah, but they're still having really weird policies around YouTube, much worse than Nintendo. So
that's weird.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's still makes me really confused. Yeah, But that was about that, right?
Yeah.
In that case, we are in time as well. I feel happy. In that case, we can start today's theme discussion. I just made up that it's a theme discussion.
Theme discussion.
This was totally planned, guys. I'm not taking this off the fly.
Totally.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about bad games today because we love talking about great games, good games. Good games. They are something that people like to take there, but the bad games are the ones that you remember in the end because they are so bad.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that you don't remember good games, because of course a great game will always be a great game. But bad games, there's so many really awful, worthless games. I'm going to start with one title, and it's Bad Rats. How many poor people have got that thing on their Steam account? Bad Rats.
Go buy it right now. Oh jeez, I totally forgot about that game.
It costs 50 cents or something like that on Steam, and that is way too much.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look on Steam.
Yeah, you do that. It's a physics engine where you as rats want to kill a cat, and all that sounds fun, but it's awful. Let's just begin with the physics engine where the physics doesn't follow its own rules. It's not a good physics engine.
Let's see.
One great physics engine is like from the Valve.
It is 99 cents. There's a free demo.
If somebody of you out there don't have it on your Steam account, don't get it.
Question: why do both you and Axe have this game?
It's one of those things that people used to send around for a joke.
Joy. As a joke game.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I have played this game and I'm completely in awe how bad they made things work.
Here's a very good Steam review of it. My friend gifted this to me. We aren't friends anymore.
That's correct. That's how it works. I mean, I once gifted Parrot George a stone simulator.
Stone simulator.
I'm pretty sure it's a better game.
Wow.
Just saying. So, bad games can be legendary for being that bad. But there are lots of other things in games that I think it's worth to discuss a bit. And I want to throw you like a bone here where you can go on the tantrum. And you were streaming the other day a fantastic Zelda game.
Oh no.
That's actually about Zelda for once.
Yeah, it is.
That's about it.
And it's really bad. It's so. Should I go into the history of this, or should I just go for it? Okay. Anyway,
go for it. Begin with the title for everybody that didn't watch the stream.
Name of the game is called Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon, and it was made along with another game called Link: The Faces of Evil, and these weren't made for Nintendo consoles. They were made for the Philips CDI, and essentially, when Nintendo, when they were trying to make a CD-based add-on for the Super Nintendo, they went up to, I think it was 3 or 4 different companies, and so with Philips, their deal fell through, but Philips got to use their IPs and stuff like that, so they had the rights to use Mario and Zelda. So they're like, well, hey, why don't we make our own video game console and make these games? Because we can, because it's legal. And so they did, and made, I believe it was 4 games in total that were Nintendo games. And so one is called Hotel Mario, which you should stay tuned to my channel next month for me to talk about that one.
Okay.
And then there's 3 Zelda games. There's Zelda's Adventure, Zelda: Wand of Gamelon and Link: The Faces of Evil. And so I was streaming Wand of Gamelon, but Link: The Faces of Evil and Wand of Gamelon are kind of like one and the same game, except for one you play as Link and one you play as Zelda. So, but I thought playing as Zelda was like way more fun just because you're Zelda. Anyway, this game is all of those games are awful. Hotel Mario's okay, but it's a really bad Mario game.
Well, it's okay compared to the other ones.
It's okay when compared to these awful Zelda games. So
yeah, well, as
just
like, watching it on the streams, the first thing that comes in mind is who thought that those cutscenes were a good idea?
Oh, so those were Russian produced, and they were
I can tell. Russian animation from the 80s.
Anyway, and that was actually the 90s, believe it or not.
Not in Russia.
It was like 1995, I think. It was so bad. Anyway,
okay, 4 years after the Soviet Union crashed.
Yeah, pretty much. So
let's go to Russia to get animations.
Really awful cutscenes, really awful voice acting.
They look horrifying.
Yeah, like everyone in the game looks like they want to kill you. Just like
not just kill not just kill you. They look like they want to strangle you to death, then rip off your head and drink your blood. They look like so horrible. And then there were this situation where somebody, I don't really know, some female character of some sort tells you that a fisherman is stuck inside a giant fish skeleton head.
Yeah.
And what you have to do is to throw a bunch of bombs on a rock in the eye. How that rock got there wasn't told. But to get him out. And when he gets in there, he's like, oh, thanks for the help. And then it gives you another, like, come and see me there and there. And then he walks out from another direction than you come in. It's just like, what?
It's a bad game. Like that, I can't even tell you how many bombs I had to throw at that rock to actually make it.
I think explode. It was 7.
Oh God, it was so many, and just like a really random number. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 7 because I watched that part.
The whole design of that game is just awful. Like you can't. It's really confusing on where you can jump and where you can't in the stages. There's a lot of really.
That's a sin I have seen in other games, and that's a sin I want to talk about as we talk about bad games, and that is if you have a platformer of any kind where you hide the actual platforms in the background and where your character seemingly walks on different levels of the background without you knowing where the hell it is, you should die in a fire.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
That is like the worst thing you can do when you develop a game is to not show where the ground is.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. The music is like super 90s and weird, and the gameplay controls are really bad. They just didn't totally utilize the controller. I could go on about that game for so long.
Let's do it then. I give you a chance.
No, I'm not going to.
I give you a chance here to just relieve yourself.
Oh God, no! I would need to do like a full review on it. Like,
okay.
Like
well, let's not get stuck on that game because there's so many other titles that are worthy of a mention in this situation. Like the Sam's Pearls from last episode, where the history traveling Mario. That was also a really good way of destroying every love for Mario games.
Yep.
But
that wasn't made by Nintendo either, but they did publish it. So, yeah.
Now, the games that Nintendo make are normally not bad.
No.
They might be more or less good, but they are normally not bad. Because as we talk about bad games, they have produced so many games, but they seem to at least have a limit of how far they would fall down in quality before they would just kill the project.
Yeah, I mean, like if you look in like Nintendo's backlog of like stuff that they've cut off, they've cut off a lot of stuff just because of it didn't meet quality.
Yeah.
So,
and that's
when they make something
important.
it's just like really quality game, and everything's finised, it's not super buggy, kind of like a lot of games.
Is that something that has been more and more, coming up? Is the pressure of deadlines reached the point where games now are released on beta level? Because there have been... No, let me change that. Are AAA titles under so much time pressure now that they're released on beta level?
Yeah.
There have been so many of this as a grand development games, like almost every Ubisoft game last year, that have been on so bad level on release.
Yeah.
And I saw a meme on it the other day where somebody was basically, there was like a McDonald's burger without bread, and it's just like the burger with like half cheese, and it was blobby, and it was like, here you go. The rest is going to be DLC.
Yeah, or like some sort of fix / patch / whatever, and just really buggy and
bug fixes and patches are coming out for stuff that you don't know is there on release. Something that when a million people start playing it, things show up that you didn't anticipate, and then you fix that.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's more like, well, there is a bunch of problems still, but we will have to solve that like in the week after release, because we can't get it in development phase anymore.
Yeah.
And that's bad, because it kind of makes you lose trust of the game development anyway. Now, on the bright side of this is that there have been several indie games, because indie games, they live and die on if their game is, showing
good or not.
Yeah, good or not.
Yeah.
So they cannot. Well, some can release really shitty games. There are some really shitty indie games out there, but most of them, when they really come out on release, they are really good, because they have to be an ambassador for the developer and development team of whatever, up to like 5-10 people.
Yeah.
At max, like, involved. So they cannot release something that would be that awful. And I mean, the latest game that looked really cool was like Gravity Ghost. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I don't think I have.
It's another one of those indie games that are based on really original thing. It's a story about a girl that's dead. She's a ghost apparently, and she's swinging around in space around different planets, and you have to try to solve the path she's going, and you have to catch stuff, and there's a lot of things in it. But it seems really cool because it seems flawless.
That seems interesting.
All recordings and all I've seen about it seems flawless in like how it frames and whatever, and that's really cool.
I honestly think that still my favorite indie game right now is Shovel Knight, just because it's so good.
Yeah, Shovel Knight has been really...
If you haven't played Shovel Knight, go play that game. It's great. I love it. Really hard sometimes, but it's really good. Like, game design in that game, it's like fantastic. Ugh, so good. Anyway, but we're talking about shitty games.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Sometimes you have to make, refer to a good game to show why it's important.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing. I also made a tweet earlier this week about that we were going to talk more about this, and there were some other stuff that came in that I want to mention as we are talking about it, because I found it interesting, and that was there were a couple of sins. There were like when sound quality, or that sound is overly used a lot in a game, especially horror games. Your immersion to the game breaks because the sound is either so bad or it's just repeated so often that you start just like, yeah, whatever. This is just stupid.
I'm trying to think of a game that does that.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. I can't think of any really specific.
I don't play horror games in general since I have a hard time to get interested in them. But I've seen some indie games that are doing things on a repetitive basis that you basically starts to just okay, whatever. There's some that does it really well, like there is gas pipes. You know they will leak. You know they will say psh, suddenly. But anyway, they will scare the shit out of you when they do.
Yeah. I mean,
those normally do it well, but there are a lot of stuff that's really weird on it.
Yeah. I can't think of any really specific game, but I do know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
It just kind of pulls you out of the game, and it's like, oh, well, this isn't really a game anymore, I guess. But
it comes to sound, the sound, and to dialogue, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I've been wanting to play. Only horror game I can really think of that I've been wanting to play recently is The Evil Within, and then which supposedly isn't like too horribly scary, but the other game that I really wanted to play was Alien Isolation, just because it definitely reminded me of like straight up like old school horror games, and looked really cool. But yeah.
We had a short discussion about the word immersion before we started as well, that it's kind of a commercialized word for saying that, oh, this game is so, you get so immersed into it.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, there are games that really you get immersed into. There are some games that you try to get immersed into that just fails, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
When the game is deliberately destroying itself, or undeliberately, just by doing a bad job. I mean, that's like the Zelda game, as we were talking about, the Wand of whatever.
Yeah. The Wand of whatever. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Something like that. There were so many things that really just broke away from what I would consider a Zelda game to be. And I'm not even that big of a fan of this franchise in general, but this was just like, is that Zelda at all? There was like flying...
There were like fucking pterodactyls and shit. And
yeah, and there were...
I don't know, enemies that I've never even seen in a Zelda game. And, I want to stream it more, but I have too much... I want to stream it more today, but I have a bit too much to do, unfortunately. Yeah. But maybe I'll find some time this week and stream it. But,
yeah, well, it would be fun to just go at some point make a stream out of some really crappy games to point out all what's wrong with them.
Yeah,
I would be interested.
Really easy. I could find some pretty shitty games to do that with. It would be.
We can play Bad Rats.
Oh God, no!
It's awful. I will not touch it ever again. It made me feel like it made me question my right to even live for playing that game. Another point that's in game are on the rise. It making me awfully angry. It's microtransactions in games that you actually pay for.
No, I've hated these things for who knows how long. It's I hate them.
I hate it so much. There are several games that are on subscription basis, like World of Warcraft, or mostly it's massive multiplayers.
Or like free to play games. I can see that, but
yeah, but free to play games, I give them the right to do it because here's a game, play it for free, but if you want like the nice stuff, well, you have to support the development of them. So you have to pay for them.
Actually pay money, which I get. It's a really they've been perfecting that sort of free to play model for a while now, and
Yeah,
I
and
think it's turned
I
into
accept
something
it. I
great.
accept it for what it is. And it's like
Yeah,
ArcAge, for example, that is free to play, but you can go subscription based if you want all the perks and all the nice stuff.
yeah,
But you don't have to. You can still play the game if you don't want
yeah,
to pay for it or can.
yeah,
And personally, I'd rather pay for the game and have the game fully.
yeah,
But
and just like have it how it's supposed to be.
yeah, but lately there have been several games that have been coming out. Like, I think, for example, if it weren't like, wasn't it like DC Universe or something like that? That you had to pay for the game and then you had to pay for stuff in game anyway. I think they
I
had
I
a
I have
situation of
no
that.
idea.
And it's so many games out there that are now that you now have to pay for and still pay again. Like NBA. The NBA
Yeah,
games now have in-game transactions that you have to pay to get clothes or whatever to your character that you have developed.
yeah,
And
a lot of games have been
yeah,
doing that.
they're doing it all over the place, and it's just making me so furious because if I pay for the game, I have paid for your work. Then you have a bunch of reskins that technically is super simple for you to add in, and you are going to
Yeah,
keep taking money from me to be able to do that. But it's even worse when it comes to game mechanics that you need to be able to progress in the game. Pay to
yeah.
win situations.
Pay to win is definitely
That's a death
frowned
sin.
upon. Yeah, for a game, it's definitely frowned upon now. And I think they definitely realized that when they would start breaking their game, and then people would stop playing. They're like, "Oh no, they aren't paying for the game anymore."
No.
So I think developers
Microtransactions doesn't
realized
have
that.
to be a problem, but you can take a full price for a game that you don't give the full access to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, DLC, it's a bit different than like
Yeah.
microtransactions. It's definitely different because it adds onto the game, hopefully, and it
Yeah.
actually expands upon the experience that you previously enjoyed. That's why
Exactly.
DLC is a thing, and it's definitely different than microtransactions in general because no one likes them. They hate them. It's like, why do I want to pay like $2 for this fucking skin? Or like, I don't know. Ugh, it's dumb. I hate
Yeah.
them.
No,
That's
I 100% agree, and it makes me really pissed off. Then there is the tutorials in games. There are several really bad tutorials around, and one that's kind of makes me annoyed was for XCOM.
mhm.
The tutorial is there to help you learn to play the game, but at the
Yeah,
same time, they involved that tutorial. Now, it's not mandatory. Mandatory tutorials are the absolute bane of a gamer's existence. Because if you want to play a game again, and you have already completed it and you know everything about it, you still have to do the goddamn tutorial. And it's
yeah.
awful. But,
It's kind of like I don't know. One I can think of off the top of my head is like normally the Call of Duty games have one in the beginning,
yeah.
or at least Call of Duty 4 did,
Yeah,
and
but
so did
the many shoot
Modern
'em up
Warfare
games
2.
that have had that you have to go through a certain first mission that's basically just a tutorial and you cannot skip
Yeah,
it, and it's just super dumb because you know exactly what you do and you are always ahead of the tutorial. Basically, now throw the grenade over there. Well, I did that 5 minutes ago, but you're welcome.
yeah,
It's like that shit is going on. But in XCOM, it's involved in the story, so it's basically the first contact with the aliens, and every fiber of my body reacted to the orders that you were given in the tutorial to do. Was like, this seems to be a really bad idea, and
yeah,
fairly enough, 4 out of 5 people in your team died because that you did that and did things that way because the
yep.
tutorial. And it just pissed me off so extreme. It was just like,
Hmm.
I knew this would happen.
Yeah, it's just
Why?
I don't know. Some tutorials do really well in telling you what to do at certain moments in time.
Riddler 2 did it well, I must say.
Yeah.
Because it was basically you were at boot camp. You were out on a practice on a training field, and you gave order to units to do stuff as a practice thing, and that made complete sense because it was like, yeah, sure, this is a practice mission.
The best games that I don't know, some of the best games in my opinion don't have tutorials. The game essentially teaches you how to play it without using a tutorial at all.
Absolutely.
And just by using certain game mechanics or enemies. Half-Life 2, Mega Man X.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Super Mario 64 kind of did it. I don't know.
It's cooler to learn as you go and get helpful hints from the game than have an actual tutorial telling you anything.
Yep.
And why do all tutorials have to begin with to move around? Use WASD. Duh.
It's so really, I didn't know that.
No. So in general, we have pointed out a lot of hints of what makes a game bad. So I think we could leave the topic, but I could go on for hours discussing these topics. Just saying.
Oh, me too.
It's kind of a fun topic. But now it's time for the pick quiz.
Yay.
So Sam,
yes.
Here is a picture in Skype.
Let me check it. Hold on. Oh, I see it. Kinda. Wait. Skype. Oh man.
How's it going?
You and your. Oh man. Am I supposed to guess the game?
Apparently, yeah.
Agent 47. Well, let's see. He's bald, so it would make me believe it's some sort of Hitman game.
Yeah, it's Agent 47, Sam. It says it's Agent 47. This must be Hitman.
I know.
Agent 47's Lowrider makes me confused. If it wouldn't have said,
I like how he has bling.
Yeah, if it hadn't had the Agent 47, I would have gone for GTA though.
I probably would have gone for Saints Row.
Possibly. Saints Row or yeah, but with knowing that it's Agent 47 and Agent 47's Lowrider, I put my guess on Hitman.
That'll be my guess.
Is there any way for us to tell if it is what Hitman it is, though?
Which one has a lowrider in it? I don't know. I don't know if he has a lowrider in any of them.
I don't think he has.
Okay. Well, in that case,
as far as I know,
we'll just go with the Hitman series. We'll throw him a curveball. Haha.
Okay, yeah. Well, I sent it to Ola. We just have to see if he will respond. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we can call that out to be Hitman, right?
Yeah. Well, he kind of just gave it away.
It's kind of a giveaway, giving us the name.
Yeah.
I still love the picture, though. It's cute.
Yeah. Ola's a wonderful artist.
Fantastic artist. He has a very special stroke on the lines of the imagery.
Indeed.
Yes, anyway. I wish I could draw like him.
Waiting on him now.
Yeah.
Oh, joy.
Well, he claims that it's not Hitman.
Okay, well, ask him if it's Saints Row then. That little troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so let's see. It's always interesting to see. I love how that it looks like it's actually holding the gun's barrel.
He is holding the gun's barrel. Oh god.
Yeah. Well, he says it's Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
Sure. I would go. I go for that. He's just bollocksing us big time, and that it's Hitman. So.
Oh my god. All right. That's that.
Well, that's always a great thing.
All right.
It's incredible. This would be interesting to see.
All right. Are we? Oh wait, no. I still have a segment to do.
Yes, it's time for Sam's Pros.
Sam's Pros. Anyway.
Sam's Pros. Anyway.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So a game I wanted to talk about today is a licensed game made by Capcom for a Disney movie called Aladdin, and it's awesome. There's two versions of it, but the one I'm talking about is on the Super Nintendo, just because that's the one I grew up with, and it's great. It's a really great platformer. Speaks a lot to Aladdin's character. He's very acrobatic, I guess. In the Genesis one, you just swing around a sword half the time and jump around and blah, 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 which is a lot more fun of a game, but I like the Super Nintendo one just a bit more. And so it's a really nice game. It looks like I can beat it in like 30 minutes now just because I played it so much as a kid. So I'll have to do that someday. I think me and Matt played through it like really fast. It's like 3 episodes.
I think you did actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3 episodes of playing with Matt, and I just run through the game like it's nothing.
And Matt's just sitting there like, yep.
Yeah, this is happening. And so it's a really great game, and it's pretty close to the movie, actually, except for like one level I think is out of like the animated cartoon. But anyways, if you want a cool licensed game to play any of like the old like Capcom Disney games on the Super Nintendo, because they're really good and a lot better than that's essentially when I think licensed games that are good, I normally look for like Disney games on Super Nintendo because those are always like super fun to me. So yeah, if you want a game to play
old licensed games like that seems to have had for the time a better quality. Really nowadays licensed games is just like a proven way of buying shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's basically game fertilizer.
Yeah. It's just shovelware.
Yeah.
So if you want a fun platformer to play and you like Disney movies, then go play Aladdin, and then do some research and
it should be pretty cheap to find a Aladdin licensed game from Disney nowadays. So that seems like good advice.
Let me see if I can find it on Amazon really quick.
Well, yeah, check it out if you can. Did you find it already?
I don't know. Yeah, it's like 10, somewhere around like $10 to $15. If you find it in a local store, though, you should probably be able to find it a lot cheaper than that. I got mine for like $5, I think.
Yeah.
So
seems cool.
Go to Goodwill, go to I don't know, your local thrift stores and whatnot, and
and pop some tags.
Oh yeah.
And on that note, everybody, keep on being awesome, keep on being cool. This has been Dream and
and Sam.
Pretty sure you're called Sam, yeah. And this is us checking out. See you in the next podcast. Bye.
All right, bye. Yay.
Oh,
and hopefully, I think so.
Happiness.
All right, yay.